Hey Brick Bloggeteers, Will here, and today we're looking at set 76178, the Daily Bugle. So this set has a lot of minifigures, and it's one thing that I really like about the instruction manual is right in the front you get a whole 2-page spread of all the characters you have in the set, including their name and a little description. So you can even identify which ones are the 3 generic minifigures, which ones are Daily Bugle employees, which are friend, which ones are foe, and everything in between. Now, as far as the set goes, you do get a small vehicle, a little taxi. It's not the worst taxis I've seen. It is a little sparse on functionality. You do have to pull up the top and the windshields in order to get down into where the minifigures sit. And as you can see, you can have the cab driver and 1 passenger, but very little else. The trunks don't open, the front hood doesn't open, there's no working doors. So they spent most of their time on the detailing of rounding out the fronts and backs to give this nice yellow cab iconic look. But that is not the star of the show. The star of the show is the actual building and everything you can do with it. As you can see, it's rather large. Now, they did a lot in the way of trying to give what adults fans want. And by that, I mean they made it compatible with the modular buildings, as you can see at the bottom, with the pinholes, and they do it on the other side as well. Now, one thing they did do differently is there's no dead angle. In other words, there's no side that looks bad. They actually made all 4 sides have something rather interesting to look at. That's partly because you have so many minifigures to place on this model that you need decorative spots to put them all in. In fact, this is probably the worst side because what it has is the Spidey buggy up top and a breakable wall over here in case you want to even further decorate the scene. Now, I've seen from other reviewers, they often get asked, can I do something with that window where Green Goblin is breaking out of? The designer was actually asked on Reddit, and you can even see a video by Ashen Flash, who actually recreate the window with the pieces in the set, and you can fully repair the front window. As far as play functionality goes, there's not really any here. You have all the modularity, but because the set is so tall, so heavy, and so detailed, it doesn't make it ideal for the rough and tumble of handling. In fact, as you can see, a lot of the straight rail pieces that are used become absolutely crucial in the structural design of this set. Each floor is just a little over 13 bricks tall. It's 13 bricks and 1 plate tall. And that's because this straight rail is 16 studs long. So when put sideways, that's the measurement you get. The interesting thing is the average floor on a minifigure building is typically closer to 8 bricks high. So what happens here is this is 4 stories. However, it gives the illusion of more because of how tall they make each floor. When I did the calculations, we're sitting just a little over 53 bricks tall in this model alone, which gives the illusion of close to 7 stories, even though we're only dealing with 4. You can see the illusion a little bit better by looking at the fire escapes, because they put multiple fire escapes on the different floors, thus giving, again, the illusion of more floors. So what you end up with is a building that is modular, that is a skyscraper in the sense of how it compares to other modular buildings, though I think the official floor height for a skyscraper is 10 stories. Comes pretty darn close. You got amazing amounts of detail, from the words spelling out Daily Bugle at the top to the furnishings that are inside. I don't want to open them up because it is kind of messy to deal with how these floors come out. I think this one's probably the easiest. The interesting thing I thought that they did was every floor is also tiled with a different color. So the base floor has this sort of green color, then you got a burnt orange on the second floor. Third floor has a nugget color, and then the top floor has a blue and dark red coloring. It kind of feels as though JJ was spending less money on the carpeting the lower the floor, and only got to better carpeting when it got up to his office. As far as parts usage, everything is done safe. There's nothing that I feel uses a part in a brand new way that really changes the game. In fact, the one part that I thought was nice was the Doc Ock arms that uses these little curved bar pieces with studs on them, which we saw in clear a lot of the times to create action poses. For his arms, what you end up with is 9 points of articulation. You've got the clips that can rotate, as well as each individual stack that makes up his arms can rotate in a different way, giving him incredible flexibility, and surprisingly doesn't give up structural integrity. In terms of where I feel they just did something safe, the water tower is a good example. Take it off here. You can see it's just a big stack of tires. So they didn't try to build something that was groundbreaking and in a new way. Like the detective's office uses treads all around and wraps that with tiles. That was a cool build. This is pretty simple. If they can get away with simple, they do, because of how much height and how much mass they want to put in front of you. Overall, you get your money's worth out of this. Like I said, $300 for 25 figures, including figures that we haven't seen anywhere else: Punisher, Daredevil, Black Cat, Firestar, and then there's just fan favorites, Gwen. You also get the Daily Bugle crew with Robbie Roberts, Betty Brant, Jay Jonah. The list just goes on and on. Like I said, it'll be handy to have your instructions with you so you can actually see who's this character again, because they do some deep cuts. There are characters that not many people would know. In fact, I'm very unfamiliar with Ghost Spider, but she's in here too. So, if any of this sounds interesting to you, I do say you get your money's worth out of the Daily Bugle. Again, it's set 76178, the Daily Bugle.